The movie starts by showing us a massive spaceship that has arrived on Earth. However, it hasn't completely landed. It's just hovering in the air. This spaceship belongs to aliens. At first, humans were terrified, thinking this could lead to a dangerous war between them and the aliens. Many believed the aliens had come to take over Earth. In fear, humans attacked the spaceship, but surprisingly, there was no retaliation from the aliens. Days passed, but the aliens neither came out of their ship nor tried to communicate with anyone. The spaceship just remained in the air. Since the ship was hovering over South Africa, governments and corporations from around the world were in contact with South Africa's government and military, discussing what should be done. The situation was confusing because the aliens weren't attacking, nor were they trying to contact their own people. The truth was that these aliens had come to Earth searching for a new home because their own planet was dying. When humans first attacked, many of the aliens' leaders were killed. As a result, only lower-ranking aliens remained, ones who were used to following orders. Without their leaders, they were unsure of what to do, which is why they had been staying inside their spaceship for so long. Now we see an office where an interview is taking place. This office belongs to MNU, an organization responsible for communicating with and controlling the aliens. A man named Wikus is giving an interview in front of a camera. He explains that their job is to interact with the aliens on behalf of the humans. After much discussion, the government decides to cut open the spaceship's gate to enter. Then, 3 months later, humans finally reach inside the ship. What they see is shocking. Hundreds of thousands of aliens, all extremely weak and sick. Since the world is watching, the government can't just kill them. Instead, they create a temporary refugee camp for the aliens right underneath the spaceship, as they have no other choice. As time passes, this area turns into a slum, and it is named District 9. Soon it becomes clear that the aliens can never return home because their spaceship is missing a crucial control module, a chip that humans can't recreate. Scientists reviewing recordings discovered that a piece of the spaceship fell to Earth. This piece is the command module, without which the spaceship can't operate. Despite all efforts, this missing piece is nowhere to be found. Many years pass, and the aliens are still living on Earth. Over time, District 9 becomes completely dominated by the aliens. Since the aliens aren't harming humans, some humans also start living there. But these aren't ordinary people. They are criminals. They operate illegally under the orders of their gang leader. This gang leader wants to get his hands on the aliens' weapons. To achieve this, he sells cat food and meat to the aliens, knowing that they love it, and charges them money. The criminals also steal weapons from the aliens, and the government does the same. However, there's a major problem. These weapons don't work for humans. They only function with alien DNA. No matter how much humans try, they can't activate them. Because of this, the gang leader even kills and eats alien flesh, hoping that their DNA will mix with his body so he can use their weapons. But this doesn't work. At the same time, MNU, the world's biggest weapons manufacturer, also wants to use these alien weapons. That's why they are involved in the government's alien project. In reality, MNU's true goal is to control and use these weapons for themselves. Over time, the aliens become more aggressive and start troubling the local people. They live in trash, eat garbage, and snatch things from humans. Because of this, the public is extremely frustrated and wants them gone. People start calling these aliens prawns because they look like prawns. They cause chaos in the city, kidnap people, and then kill them. They also steal large amounts of cash and hoard it. After 20 years of this, the government finally decides to relocate the aliens from District 9 to a different place. Now Wikus is sent to District 9 with a team. His job is to talk to the aliens and serve them legal notices to vacate the area. But the aliens don't want to leave. Still, Wikus manages to get some of them to sign the papers. While walking through District 9, Wikus sees how the aliens live. They eat anything, attack anyone, and live in extremely poor conditions. As he explores further, he finds a huge storage of weapons, televisions, computer parts, wires, and connectors. At first, he thinks they collected these things for entertainment, but the real reason is something else entirely. Meanwhile, we see an alien named Christopher and his son. They have been trying to escape Earth for years. Christopher, along with his companion, has been working on a special black fluid that can activate their spaceship. It took Christopher many years to create this fluid, and now it was finally ready. He was thrilled because this meant he and his son could finally go home, back to their planet where the rest of their kind lived. One day, while Christopher and his partner are away, Wikus and his team arrive at their house. Inside, Wikus discovers a small lab and is shocked to see the setup. He wonders what these aliens are working on and what kind of experiments they are conducting. As he searches the lab, he finds the black fluid stored in a small bottle. But accidentally, some of the fluid sprays onto his face. He starts coughing, but quickly wipes it off. Thinking it might be something valuable, Wikus takes the bottle with him. Later, when Christopher's partner returns home, he realizes the black fluid has been stolen. He is furious and demands Wikus return it. But Wikus and his team have no idea what he's talking about. The argument escalates, and they end up shooting and killing Christopher's partner. Christopher watches everything from hiding, but he does nothing, at least not yet. Meanwhile, when Wikus goes to his office, he notices one of his fingernails falling off. Shocked and scared, he rushes to the restroom, but another nail falls off. He has no idea what's happening and starts panicking. Later, Wikus arrives home, where his wife has thrown a party to celebrate his promotion. But he starts feeling sick and suddenly collapses. He is rushed to the hospital, and when he wakes up, he sees that one of his hands has completely changed. It now looks like an alien's hand. Terrified, he tries to understand what's happening to him. Soon, he is strapped to a stretcher and taken to a secret MNU laboratory. There, he sees the dead bodies of many aliens. Aliens that MNU had killed for research. The scientists explain why they are experimenting on aliens. They desperately want to use alien weapons because they are far more powerful than human weapons. Since Wikus' hand is transformed into an alien's hand, the scientists force him to fire one of the alien weapons, and it actually works. Seeing this, the MNU team is thrilled, but then they make a horrifying decision. They decide to harvest all of Wikus' organs to study him further. Wikus sees and hears everything happening around him. He is fully conscious. As soon as the doctor is about to cut open his chest to remove his heart, Wikus fights back, attacking the doctor and escaping to save his life. Now, the news is spreading crazy rumors about him. Some people even claim he had relations with an alien, which is why his body is changing. Wikus is shocked by what people are saying about him. Wherever he goes, people recognize him and run away in fear. Meanwhile, the army and MNU are chasing him, determined to capture him as soon as possible. With nowhere else to hide, Wikus has only one option: District 9. Once there, he calls his wife and tells her everything, but she refuses to believe him. This breaks Wikus completely, leaving him feeling hopeless and angry. Frustrated, he picks up an axe, determined to cut off his alien hand. But at the last moment, he can't bring himself to do it. Instead, he manages to chop off just one finger, causing excruciating pain. Suddenly, he hears helicopters nearby, searching for him. Panicked, he hides inside a house where he unexpectedly meets Christopher. As soon as Christopher sees Wikus' mutated hand, he immediately realizes that Wikus was the one who stole the black fluid. Angry, he demands to know where it is, but before Wikus can answer, he collapses. When Wikus regains consciousness, he finds himself in a basement lab that Christopher built himself. Christopher once again asks about the black fluid, but this time Wikus refuses to say anything. Hearing this, Christopher calmly says, "Fine, don't tell me, but I can cure you. However, I need the black fluid to do it. So if you want to be cured, bring me the fluid." Wikus agrees, but there's one big problem. The fluid is locked inside MNU's high-security lab, and going there is basically suicide. Still, Wikus is desperate to become human again, so they start making a plan. Christopher explains that to infiltrate MNU, they will need weapons. But since the government has already taken all the alien weapons, they have only one option: to get weapons from the local gangsters. Wikus arrives at the gangster hideout, demanding weapons. But the gangsters immediately recognize him. He's the half-human, half-alien man from the news. Their boss gives a chilling order: cut off his alien hand. But before they can touch him, Wikus instinctively grabs an alien weapon and fires. A massive blast shakes the room, killing several gang members instantly. Everyone is left stunned, watching in shock as Wikus controls the alien weapon with ease. Taking advantage of their fear, Wikus seizes their weapons and escapes. But as he leaves, the gang leader yells, "I will find you!" Now armed with powerful alien guns, Wikus and Christopher infiltrate MNU's heavily guarded headquarters. They blast their way inside, moving deeper into the building. Chaos erupts. Terrified scientists and soldiers flee, knowing they are no match for the advanced alien firepower. Reaching the lower-level laboratory, Wikus and Christopher desperately search for the black fluid. And finally, they find it. Wikus grabs the fluid, and the two quickly escape. But MNU's entire army is now after them, determined to hunt them down at any cost. After an intense chase, Wikus and Christopher finally reach the house where the command module is hidden. Wikus, still hoping to return to normal, eagerly asks, "Once we reach the mothership, how long will it take for me to be cured?" Christopher hesitates. 3 years. Wikus freezes. 3 years? That's too long. Christopher explains, "I will cure you, but first I have to save my people." Wikus is furious. "That wasn't the deal. You said you'd fix me first." But Christopher has seen the horrifying truth inside MNU's lab. He saw the bodies of his fellow aliens, their corpses dissected and experimented on. Among them was his friend, the one who helped him create the black fluid. Christopher, filled with anger and grief, firmly states, "I won't let my people become lab experiments." Wikus, feeling betrayed, shouts, "And what about me? You expect me to just wait here?" Christopher places a hand on Wikus' shoulder and says, "I promise, I will come back for you." But Wikus doesn't believe him. In a sudden fit of desperation, Wikus grabs a wooden plank and smashes it over Christopher's head. Christopher collapses, unconscious. Wikus grabs the bottle of black fluid and rushes down to the basement lab, where the command module is hidden. Christopher's young son is already there, waiting. Despite his age, the child understands everything about the module's operation. Meanwhile, Christopher regains consciousness and sees the worst. MNU forces have arrived. Wikus hands the black fluid to Christopher's son, who quickly injects it into the command module's engine. The engine hums to life. The module shakes violently as it lifts off the ground, but just as it starts to rise, MNU fires a missile. The missile slams into the module, causing a massive explosion. The module crashes back down, damaged but not destroyed. MNU seizes Wikus, while Christopher's son hides nearby, unnoticed. Wikus is shoved into an MNU vehicle, but before they can leave, a new group appears. The gangsters Wikus stole weapons from. Their leader smirks. "I told you I'd find you." The gangsters drag Wikus away, ignoring MNU's protests. Inside their hideout, the gang leader eyes Wikus's alien arm greedily. "I don't want to kill you, my friend. I only want your arm." He grins. "Once I have it, I'll be able to use alien weapons. I will be unstoppable." Outside, a war erupts. MNU and the gangsters open fire on each other, both sides determined to capture Wikus. Meanwhile, inside, the gangsters pin Wikus down, ready to cut off his arm. But suddenly, a loud mechanical whirring. A massive alien mech activates nearby. From the command module, Christopher's son has hacked into it remotely. The mech spins to life and obliterates the gangsters in seconds, saving Wikus. At the same time, the mothership above begins to move, shaking the ground. MNU, staring up in shock, grabs the nearest alien prisoner and demands, "What's happening? What's your plan?" But the alien refuses to speak, so they beat him mercilessly. Back inside, the mech's cockpit opens, revealing a seat. Wikus climbs in. The mech storms out, smashing through the walls. MNU soldiers fire at him, bullets bouncing off the mech's armor. Inside the mech, Wikus shouts through the speakers, "I haven't hurt anyone. Just let me go." Hearing this, the soldiers hesitate. The gunfire stops. For a moment, it seems Wikus might actually escape. But then, they turn on Christopher. MNU beats him mercilessly, demanding information. When Christopher refuses, they prepare to execute him. At the last second, Wikus charges back in, annihilating the MNU soldiers and saving Christopher. With Christopher freed, Wikus guides him toward the damaged command module. But before they can reach it, more MNU soldiers attack. The mech takes heavy damage, sparking and failing. Wikus is trapped inside. Wikus knows he won't make it. Breathing heavily, he tells Christopher, "Go, get out of here. I'll handle them." But Christopher refuses. "I'm not leaving without you." Wikus shakes his head. "No, you have to go. We worked too hard for this." Christopher hesitates, but then nods. "I promise," he says. "I'll come back. 3 years. I swear." With one last look, Christopher sprints toward the command module. Through gunfire and explosions, he barely makes it inside. And as Wikus fights to hold off MNU, the command module rockets into the sky, reconnecting with the mothership above. Even after Christopher's escape, Wikus keeps fighting, taking down countless MNU soldiers. But then, a truck slams into him, hurling him across the battlefield. His mech crashes to the ground, completely disabled. Wikus groans in pain, trapped inside the wreckage. An MNU officer approaches, gun in hand. As he gets closer, his eyes widen. Wikus is now fully transformed, half human, half alien. The officer raises his weapon, ready to end Wikus for good. But before he can fire, a group of aliens swarm in from the shadows. They tear the officer apart, saving Wikus. Lying on the ground, Wikus looks up and sees the mothership rising into the sky. Christopher and his son are leaving Earth. For the first time, Wikus smiles. Will Christopher return? No one knows. And after that day, Wikus is never seen again. Rumors spread. Some say he died. Some say MNU secretly captured him. One day, at Wikus's old home, his wife finds a small metal flower left outside. It's handcrafted, just like the ones Wikus used to make for her. Tears fill her eyes. She knows now. The world was wrong about him, and she knows he's still out there. The final shot reveals Wikus, fully transformed into an alien, living in the scrapyards. He waits, hoping. One day Christopher will return. One day he will be human again. Meanwhile, the world changes. MNU is exposed for its illegal experiments, and the government shuts them down. The remaining 2.5 million aliens are relocated from District 9 to a new site, District 10. District 9 makes us question who the real monsters are, the aliens or the humans. It's a story about fear, power, and how easily we dehumanize those who are different. In the end, Wikus became what he once feared, but did he lose his humanity or finally find it?